Classic 350 purists will finally have something to upgrade to, as Royal Enfield is all set to introduce the new Classic 650. We have already ridden the motorcycle and our findings have been interesting. Stick around as we tell you what's good about the Classic 650, what could be better, and should you even consider it. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the Classic 650. So Royal Enfield has made sure that they have retained the visual essence, and a lot of other things make it look more premium, more expensive. The 650 feels slightly more cruiserish. The rest of the things are pretty simple. 243 kg, this is the heaviest 650cc motorcycle. Royal Enfield is more than a 100-year-old brand, and it has had many important motorcycles that has helped it shape up its history. One of the most recent examples of that is the Classic 350. It was launched back in 2009 and it became an instant hit. It put the brand on the global map. It is still the highest selling Royal Enfield motorcycle in India. So with such strong brand recall and such popularity, it was only logical for the brand to use the same name for one of its bigger and more premium motorcycles. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the Classic 650. It is meant for those who ride the Classic 350 but want to upgrade to something bigger and crib about the absence of the Classic 500. So today we are spending a day riding the Classic 650 in the beautiful northern side of the United Kingdom to give you our first impression about the motorcycle and to tell you whether this is the best 650cc motorcycle in Royal Enfield's portfolio. Let's get going. Before I talk about the overall hardware package of the Classic 650, I want to touch upon the design part. So Royal Enfield has made sure that they have retained the visual essence that the Classic 350 stands for. So if you look at the motorcycle, the overall stance and most of the elements are almost identical to the Classic 350. If you see this headlamp cowl, these fork covers, front and rear fenders, the fuel tank and the central panel, everything looks almost identical to the Classic 350, but there are some very nice touches which make it look bigger and more premium. And I'm glad to report that in person, it looks more substantial than the Classic 350. Especially if you look at it from the rear, these two exhaust pipes, this wider fender, and if you look closely, you'll see that this handlebar triple clamp and a lot of other things make it look more premium, more expensive to say. And there are some nice color options as well. This one is my favorite. This is a very nice combination of maroon and creamish kind of shade, and there are a lot of other nice color options as well. And you let us know in the comments whether you like this color option or you like the rest of the colors of the Classic 650. Now talking about the features, this gets the same semi-digital console as the Classic 350. You've got a tiny LCD console which tells you the crucial information. You have got an analog speedometer. You've got a tiny trip navigation system just sitting beside the instrument cluster. You have got an LED headlamp which is identical to the Classic 350 and the Super Meteor and the Shotgun, but you have got adjustable levers. Even the Classic 350, some of the variants now get adjustable levers, but the switch gear is the same as the Super Meteor and Shotgun. You have got dual channel ABS in this motorcycle, and the rest of the things are pretty simple. Now on to the hardware package. Now let's talk about the overall hardware package of the motorcycles. But before I move ahead, I want to remind you that this motorcycle is more similar to the Shotgun and the Super Meteor than the Interceptor and the Continental GT 650. So you've got the same frame and same headstock as the Super Meteor and Shotgun. The engine, this 650cc parallel twin air and oil cooled engine, is the same across their 650cc motorcycles. It makes close to 48 bhp and 53 Newton meters of torque. Comes mated to a 6-speed gearbox with a assist and slipper clutch. What's different though are the wheel sizes. They are the same as the Classic 350, 19-inch at the front, 18-inch at the rear. The front 43mm Showa telescopic forks are unique to the Classic 650, and you've got dual rear springs which are the same units as the Shotgun, but the damping characteristics have been tuned a little differently. Also, in terms of dimensions, the motorcycle is different and the ground clearance is higher than the shotgun at 154 mm. The seat height is 800 mm, and one of the things that I feel is one of the shortcomings of the motorcycle is the curb weight. At 243 kg, this is the heaviest 650cc motorcycles. In fact, it is heavier than a lot of motorcycles with much bigger displacement than this. So that's about the overall hardware. Now let's get on to the riding part. Almost the entire route chalked out by Royal Enfield comprised smooth and serpentine tarmac through the scenic countryside of the northern UK, which made for a great setting to put the classic 650 through its paces. The riding position offered by the motorcycle is very similar to the classic 350, upright and neutral. However, the 650 feels slightly more cruiserish with a wider handlebar and slightly forward set foot pegs. The seat felt adequately cushioned to not feel uncomfortable on our over 300-kilometer jaunt. The engine feels exactly how it does on its other 650cc siblings, smooth and torquey. Courtesy of its significantly heavier curb weight, the pull from a standstill and the roll-on acceleration aren't as strong as the Interceptor. However, the engine lugs this 243 kg behemoth with superb urgency. It puts down power linearly and strongly, almost throughout the rev range, which also makes it quite tractable. On most of the sections, we were doing close to 100 to 120 kmph, and the acceleration from there felt strong. On the open unrestricted highways, we even crossed 140 kmph, and the engine chugged along without much reluctance. While the gearbox is slick and false neutrals almost never occur, the clutch is quite heavy, just like most other Royal Enfields. The classic 650 handles corners too well for its weight and size. While getting it to steer requires mild effort, it sticks to its line with great composure and predictability. It inspires a lot of confidence to keep on leaning until its foot pegs start scraping, and when it's time to shed speed or come to a halt, the brakes do a commendable job. The initial bite from the front brake feels a bit soft, but keep on pulling in the lever and the stopping power grows stronger. The rear brake feels a lot more progressive though. While our route was deprived of major undulations, going over mild surface imperfections revealed that the suspension setup is firm, especially at the rear. At high speeds, the suspension landed rigidly into the minor dips we were unprepared for and gave a kick into the back over road joints and patchworks. However, this aspect of the bike can be thoroughly tested only on poor roads of India. So that was the first ride review of the Classic 650. We rode the motorcycle on some of the best roads in the UK, in the northern side of the country, and I think that was the best setting to ride this motorcycle. It felt lovely. Now, to answer the main question that I asked in the beginning, whether this is the best 650cc Royal Enfield. Now, that's a very subjective and emotional kind of thing and decision. If you have always been enamored by the charm and the feel that the Classic 350 brings to the table and you want to upgrade, you don't want to sway away from the brand, then the Classic 650 would be an ideal upgrade. Also, if you have owned a 150 or 200cc motorcycle and you have always been very fascinated by what the Classic 350 is but want something more premium, even then this would be a great upgrade. But if you think practically, now going by what Royal Enfield has told us, this will be priced almost the same as the Shotgun 650, at least the starting price. Going by that, this will be considerably more expensive than the Interceptor 650, and I feel there's nothing that this bike does which the Interceptor can't do. So if you think practically, the Interceptor for now feels like a more value for money proposition. So having said that, there are a bunch of things that we want to test back in India in much more detail, like for example the ride quality, how it fares on poor roads of India, and how it fares if you ride it over a longer distance, let's say on one full day, how does the motorcycle fares in terms of comfort. There are a couple of things that we want to test back in India, so those questions left to be answered. I'm Anuj, you're watching BikeWale, signing off for now.